Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die.
Which way Nigeria?
Which way?
Which way Nigeria?
Tell me.
Which way to go?
Which way to go?
I love my fatherland.
Oh yeah.
I want to know
Want to know.
which way Nigeria is heading to.
Inefficiency and indiscipline is ruining the country now. Corruption here, there, and everywhere. Inflation is soaring high. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die.
Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go?
Which way to go?
I love my fatherland.
Oh, sure, sure.
I want to know
Yes, I want to know.
which way Nigeria is heading to.
We made mistakes during the oil boom, not knowing that was our doom. Some people now have everything, while many, many have nothing. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't fall.
Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go?
Which way to go?
I love my fatherland.
Oh yeah.
I want to know
Yes, I want to know.
which way Nigeria is heading to.
Green revolution is a reality. Let's give it a chance to grow. Let's join our hands to farm the land so we can have enough food to show. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die.
Which way Nigeria?
Which way?
Which way Nigeria? Which way to go?
Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? 2020 makes it what 21 years since we started democracy all over. We had President Olusegun Obasanjo as the first president in that democratic era. 21 years. And since 1960, we have been managing our nation by ourselves, the Nigerians, and that is why I want to start, the show today with a question: which way Nigeria? Do we even know where we are going to? Do we even know where we are at the moment? When I look at our society, what I see is a bunch of people who would rather align themselves to political parties, to religious entities, to cultural divisions, rather than see how we can grow as a people. Now, people ask, what is the difference between the black man and the white man? It's because the black man, despite their different opinions, despite their different beliefs, they understand that they have a common goal, which is to make life comfortable for every citizen and resident of the white man's land. 2 weeks ago, I asked the question, would Africa ever rise up and take the mantle, take the bull by the horn, and move themselves to greatness? And I posited that period and that time that the problem is not that the white man once ruled us. The problem is that we have been our own enemy. We have been inimical to our own growth. But today I want to focus on Nigeria. Which way Nigeria? Do we even know the way that we are traveling? Do we know the path? Do we know the road? Or we're just moving blindly like blind men groping the wall? Nigeria was the poverty capital of the world, and that at that time we had just overtaken India. By the way, India has more population than Nigeria, way more population than Nigeria. And we had overtaken India as the world poverty capital. A lot of people shouted, no, that report is a lie. That report is fabricated. I was one of those people. Because I asked questions. What about Afghanistan? What about Yemen? All those places that are war-torn. What about Sudan? And then there was Sudan and South Sudan. What about DR Congo, where those places, war has torn them apart? I asked those questions back then. But then I also understand now that the parameters used in judging Nigeria as the world capital cannot apply to those war-torn countries, because those war-torn countries are experiencing war, and therefore they are not a fully functional society. As a matter of fact, they are a dysfunctional society. So when we look at functional society, just maybe, Nigeria might just be the poverty capital of the world. It's from me to do so. Recently, the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics came out with data that shows that 40.1% of Nigerians are poor. That number translates to about 89 million people, almost 90 million people, and approximately in Nigeria, they say, because we haven't done census in like forever, they say we are about 200 million people. That is to say, almost half of our population are poor. Meanwhile, they will be there dragging APC, PDP, Christian, Muslim, Islamized, Christianized. But the truth is, if you look at the system, about half of the people are poor. And like Sonny Okosun will ask, which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Because the people have failed to understand that they are the ones with the power. They are the ones who wield the power to make the change that they so desire. But then, the few ruling class, when I say ruling class, I'm not just talking about politicians. I'm talking about religious leaders. I'm talking about businessmen. I'm talking about, intellects or intellectuals. These people, have made poverty a weapon, a tool. And so 40.1% of Nigerians are poor. Now, inside that 89 million people, or 82.9 million people, I beg your pardon, about, where's that figure again now? About 52% of 82.9 million people, 82.9 million people live in abject poverty, extreme poverty, concentrated poverty. That is to say, out of the 82.9 million people, about 50 something thereabout, approximately, let's say 53 million people live in extreme poverty. But before you fold this report from the NBS, how do we define poverty in Nigeria? Poverty is defined as people living below 137,000 430 naira per year. 137,430 naira per year. If we should approximate it, let's say 140,000 per year, that would mean divided by 12. That is about 13,000 thereabout, 12,000 thereabout per month. And yet, collect, 80,000. Some of you are businessmen, you make more than that a month. But there are women, there are men, there are people, 82.9 million of them, who live in such situations where they cannot boast of 12,000 naira per month. Do you know what this means? This means high level of insecurity. This means poor governance. This can also be translated to mean that the people have failed in their responsibility. The people have been dormant for too long a time. They have been careless. And so Nigeria is probably falling on the wayside. Probably falling on the wayside. But you see, like every one of my discourse, I'm not here to bash the government or insult anybody. No. Maybe we could criticize. Maybe we could, point the problems out. But what I really target is coming up with a solution. When I was growing up and, we would go to secondary school and we would take on economics as a subject, I would learn way back in time that the more the labor, the more, how do I put it now? The more a business, a company, a nation can achieve. Yes, the more the labor or the laborers, the more a company, an organization, or a nation can achieve. So I'm wondering, over 200 million people, that's the possibility that almost half of the 82.9 million people are youths. How do we define youths in a Nigerian society? According to the last law that was signed, by National Assembly, correct me if I'm wrong, the youth system is the age brackets between the ages of 16 to 45, right? 16 to 45, thereabout. Now, this age bracket makes up about 40 to 50% of our population. 40 to 60% of our population. If that be the case, why would we not have insecurity? Why would we, in almost every strata of our society? Just yesterday, we reported that over 200 boys went on a rampage at Diob Axis of Port Harcourt, overwhelming our security institution. Because at the scene in Diob yesterday, the vigilante were present, were even beaten. The vigilante, remember, they are part of our security architecture. They were beaten. The police are here, were onlookers. Why would we not have weak institutions and stronger men when we have not been able to utilize our greatest resource, which is our human population? So on the 16th day of May 2020, 10:23 a.m., I want us to profess solutions because I don't think our population is our disease. China has a way bigger population than we do, and China has the second biggest economy in the world. The second big economy in the world. As at the mid 90s, 90, 93, 94, thereabout, India was a third world country. They have a larger population than we do in Nigeria. And yet, they have found their way out of that tag, third world country. The United Nations estimates that Nigeria will have a population of 400 million people by 2050. If we have over 200 million people, or about 200 million people, and we have 82.9 million of them living in poverty, and about 50-something percent of that 82.9 million in abject poverty, then what do you think will happen in 2050? But before we even fast track to 2050, coronavirus is around and is in town. And because coronavirus is in town, a lot of businesses have closed. A lot of companies are not operating optimally. Government is looking for how they can generate funds because, they are also grasping for air, like a lot of Nigerians are grasping, or gasping, I beg your pardon, gasping for air, like a lot of Nigerians are gasping, because they are also suffocating and they are also stifled by coronavirus. So the picture of the future is not one of boom, and that is why we all must come together, because it is the people. I always say it. It is the people that can actually bring the change that we require in Nigeria. It is the people. The people that can actually bring about the change in Nigeria. Some people have called for secession. And I have no problem with, people wanting to go have their own country and all. I have no problem with that. But the question I've always asked them is, what is the guarantee that when they leave, it is not the same politicians who ruled them when they were in Nigeria that will rule them when they leave? So for me, for as many people who are calling for secession, I don't think, it's my personal opinion, by the way, I don't think that is the answer to this conversation. So if you're going to ask for secession on the show, then you better don't call. Because I'm of the belief that, oh my, the people that will rule you when you have that country that you pray for are the same people who are ruling now and have kept you in either poverty or abject poverty. Look at the system of ruling. It's the same everywhere. It's the same in the north. It's the same in the south. It's the same in the west. It's the same in the east. The same style of ruling. So it's time for the people to wake up and not take arms. No. Violence is never an answer. But it's time for us to wake up and smell the coffee and begin to demand for what is ours, rightly ours. We could start with little things like basic amenities, like ensuring that the government fixes our roads. could start with, I mean, those little things. Make sure that in that community of yours, the schools are well structured, and they are enough learning tools for the peoples, and not. I mean, look at it. They can spend so much money on school feeding program, but nothing much can be done about the state of learning in those schools. How many of those schools have computers? How many of those schools have, roof over their heads? How many of those schools have qualified teachers? But we can spend 13.2 billion naira on a school feeding program. It's time for us to wake up. It's time for us to smell the coffee. 82.9 million, I beg your pardon. I'm beginning to get, angry, so I'm mixing up the millions and the billions. But 82.9 million people out of 200 million people in poverty. Yet somebody will call in and tell me, hey, I support APC, I support PDP, I support my pastor, I support my imam. But you see, all of these people you mentioned, they are not in poverty. And as long as the system remains the same, irrespective of your tribe or your culture or your tradition or your religious belief, as long as the system remains the same, they will continue to thrive, and you will continue to languish in poverty. Like I said, the future after COVID-19, it's not a bright one. And it's not to make you afraid. It's to wake you up. It's to wake you up. It's not to cause panic. It's to wake you up. It's to wake you up. You saw the palliatives that were shared. A lot of you complained about it. That should wake you up. That should wake you up. And like I said, it's not in any way an attempt to cause chaos. And, this is for people who can think constructively. It's not time for us to carry swords and guns and machetes and all of that. No, it's time for us to use our voice, stand together, irrespective of what divide we belong to, and realize that it is the people that have the power to bring about the change that we so desire. And being that as it may be, what do you think is the way forward? Which way, Nigeria? What do you think we can do as a people? As a people. And like I say, don't tell me about division and secession. But as a people, what can we do? What can we do? Because it looks as if by 2050, maybe at that time, about 150 million people will be living in abject poverty. 0817-000-0951 and 0810-951-0951. You can send me text messages on my Twitter account at Dekalada, THEKALADA. This calls for sober reflection for every one of us. Everyone, even for you who think I'm earning 50,000 naira a day. I mean, by world standards, you're probably living in poverty. I mean, the MBS says 10, 12, 15,000 thereabout. But if you check world standard, you probably living in poverty. Probably, maybe you're earning 50,000, maybe you're earning 60,000. I mean, on the Punch newspaper today, there was a report of graduates, a lot of graduates who earn below the new minimum wage. I mean, a lot of you do, and a lot of you know what I'm talking about. That is poverty, poverty, and like I said, it translates to high crime rates. It translates to corruption. It translates to weak institutions. Because in a society where corruption thrives, institutions can never be strong. All right. It's time for you to jump in on this very issue. And let's get to hear what your thoughts are. 0817 0000951 and 0810951091 95.1 FM.
Yo, Kalada, good morning once again.
Yeah, good morning to you. What's your name?
Chimeze from Rumukushi.
All right, Chimeze from Rumukushi, welcome.
One wise man said that the definition of madness is doing the same thing all over and expecting a different result. And you asked us for solution. And you said that a particular set of people should not call in.
Because I don't
that
believe
means you don't need
all right.
a total solution.
All right. Thank you very much. 95.1 FM. What's your name and where are you calling in from?
Hello, good morning. You're speaking with Mr. Paul.
Mr. Paul, welcome.
Okay, I just want to put my out in there's something you were saying about the current, what will be the state of the world after this COVID-19.
Is it the world? I'm looking at Nigeria. I'm looking at Nigerian poverty. I'm not looking at the world.
Yeah. Okay. Nigeria, yes. And the way forward, like you said, I just discovered that our youth, the only strength they have is speaking to the radio. Maybe when there's a opinion as raised on the radio, you see them, everybody will just be talking as if they are seeing the person they are talking to. We've not been one. We cannot unite. Like I discovered that we have selfish youth. Like if you are comfortable now, you discover that you no longer fight for the others because you are comfortable. That's why you see some of our youth, when you give them money during the election, they will brainwash others and make them follow the wrong step. So our youth, our mindset, we need to change our mindset. Let's think about our future instead of always thinking about what we'll eat today. But what they ask is what the money they will eat today. They forget there are many youths that
you are saying we should do away with selfishness and greed.
Greed, yes.
All right then.
You can imagine that a youth that is protected, like you can see one of some of these people that protest, they say they are fighting for Niger Delta. When you settle one person, other people, you discover that once you settle them, they will keep quiet. And they will no longer remember that there were people that fought with them. So that's the issue with our youth.
All right.
To change our mindset.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in. 95.1 FM, what's your name and where are you calling in from?
Good morning, my own brother, Mr. Kawada.
Yes, Lieutenant, welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm still on break, not to discuss ADC.
And that's why I'm also on break. Let
me now tell you that by the statistics available to me, only 4% of Nigerians are employed.
It can't be 4% because according to the NBS, we have just 24% unemployment rates.
I think that is their own calculation. But I am telling you that only 8 million Nigerians are employed formally. When I mean by formally,
all right,
by the respectable federal and state government.
All right, then.
Are you getting me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
In other developed countries like America, 60% of their population are employed by the formal sector, that is the state and the federal. And if you look at by Nigerian statistics, out of this 4%, you look at that, just 0.0% collect 90% of the money. Only members of the House of Assembly and the federal legislators collect 90% of this money. You will agree with me that in Nigeria, a senator can employ a gardener. This senator collects 13 million naira, and he will pay the gardener just 10,000 naira.
All right now. Preach.
Are you hearing me?
Preach.
High level of wickedness in this country. High level of wickedness from our leader. The money with Nigeria is strictly rich. Only few collect the whole money that we have. And the rest of the people are not being bothered about. That's why you see excessive stupidity everywhere.
All right
Mr.
now.
Canada, the only way forward is that those high-ranking public officers, they should earn minimum wage.
All right now.
As order.
All right now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lupena. We've got to move on now. 95.1fm. What's your name and where are you calling in from?
My name remains JJ from the beautiful and Jerusalem city of Port Harcourt.
All right, JJ, welcome. Let's talk now, yeah?
I don't want to go into those talk here, and talk here. Solution.
Yeah, solutions now, yeah?
Unemployment rate is rising, population rising, and everything negative rising. But we can convert our population growth to something meaningful, just like China, just like India. How can we do that? Like, that's why I said I'm not here for blabbing, but...
All right, now let's hear your thoughts now.
Canada, we can go into serious aggressive farming, mechanized farming. By the time we do that, based on the president's program, you know, the Anchor Boa scheme, you have about 25 million people who are farming rice right now. Imagine plantain, imagine beans, imagine some other stuff that you have that amount of people. We will be begging Filipinos, Indians to even come and work in Nigeria.
All right, now, yeah?
So for me, aggressive farming and development of the oil sector, that's diversify the oil sector, because I know you ask me now, we are trying to leave the oil sector. We can refine our products. You know how many people will employ from the building and everything put together. You know how much we will save if we stop importing the freight rate, the landing rate, the whatever rate that they put there, and we refine locally. And man, what if every state of the federation decide to have a modular refinery so that all this pipeline of the finished product moving from one place and depot is knocked off? You know how many people will be employed in the process. So if we can do this too, which we have more, the rate system and everything, if we can do all this, I think that even at population of 500 million people by that time you are projecting, we will still not have enough manpower to work. It means we will still bring people from other countries like Sudan, Chad, Philippines, and all those stuff to come work for us. If not, we will be lacking manpower.
All right, then. All right. Thank you very much there. Now, I want to also clear some facts. Now, I'm looking, I thought they extended it to 45. But I'm looking at Wikipedia now, and it says that in Nigeria, the youth range is between the ages of 15 to 35. But I know one time they extended it, it was passed in the National Assembly or something like that, and we talked about it too. But also I'm looking at the statistics on Google, and it says that 53.2% are between the ages of 15 and 65. Unemployment rate is pegged at 11 million people. I don't agree with that one though, but let's just allow it. 11 million people. 11 million people. But you remember one time when our president said he was going to remove 100 million people from poverty within the remaining years, he has left to be president, between when he said it and 2023, it was going to remove 100 million people from poverty. Are we seeing that happening already? Are we seeing things being put in place? We. The state governors, are they helping? Are they doing much? The local government chairmen, are they doing much? Or Is it just the same thing that we've been doing from the very beginning in 1960? What is the solution? What is the solution? Because poverty is a tool. The way I'm looking at it, poverty is a tool. 82.9 million people are poor. 95.1 FM, what's your name and where are you calling in from?
Canada, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you.
This is Elder.
Elder, please turn off your radio. Turn off your radio, please. Thank you.
I'm already come for that place.
All right.
You see, Canada, listening to all that you are just saying, honestly speaking, I'm really, I got tired of this talk.
All right.
You know, just yesterday, a particular, I think it's in the newspaper, who I don't know the survey, they discovered that I think in the northern part of the country, a particular state, it was poor.
Yeah. The Guardian newspaper.
And when I look at these people, you know that all the oil blocks, 80% of them are the same people.
Yeah.
How come that these people are not generous? So, to me, I think it has to profile solution is to embark on what I may call draconian law. That is to say, you don't follow the rule of law. You keep the rule of law alive and nail people. Because the height of corruption in Nigeria is beyond human imagination. People are so greedy, just like the people you mentioned, call them imam, pastors, bishop. If you see the attitude of some of these people, particularly when it comes to the area of money, to the shop. So, but if we have that kind of law, that some of these issues.
But let me ask you a question. Who will make the law when the people who are making the law are also guilty of some of those things that you're talking about?
You see, actually looking at the kind of democracy we are practicing, we cannot in any way have that kind of law. It is impossible. So for me, honestly speaking, I am just praying God should raise a radical and a no-nonsense military officer.
No, we can't go back to military now. Come on.
No.
But we can't go back to military.
If you see how Ghana is being sanitized,
We can't go back to military, whether you like it or not.
You use that kind of people to bring down. Honestly speaking,
all right,
if you are looking at civilians to do it, it can never happen in the history.
So are you saying if I put you there, you would not be able to sanitize the system? Is that what you're saying?
Let me tell you, a tree cannot make a forest. I may have look. I have a friend of mine about 5 years ago in one of the middle belts. He told me, look, he's going to contest a local government chairman. I said, no, I know you. You cannot be able to withstand the heat. And he said, no. They know him, that he's going to make the correct every damn thing that have been on. That was why the Ifeanyi are calling on him. That this thing fall on their own side. And with his educational background, I said, look, you cannot be able. The system is so polluted. Even the people that are begging you, they will turn against you tomorrow. Is it system? No. He said the man was arguing with me. He said, no. I said, okay. I think after that period, he entered into it.
All right. Elder, we got to go now. Thank you very much, Dad. 95.1 FM, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Kalada, the man of the people.
All right, now. And I'm calling on the people right now, yeah?
Eto from Rumaoli.
Eto, welcome.
Hey, Kalada, you say which way, Nigeria?
Which way, Nigeria?
Okay. As for me, I would have said that they should have allowed those white men to still govern us, to still rule us. Yes, my reason is that even our people who find their way out to their land, they are still living well. And they don't even bother to come back to Nigeria.
All right, now, yeah.
So if they do our people on that side well, how much more our land, they will still do us well. And the thing where I'm looking at, that this thing must go. Because here you are here every day clamoring for all these things. governor, senator, this and that, they are doing like this, CDP, APC. A single chance where the opportunity where they give me and you to stand. So on your wisdom, you know that
wisdom.
This opportunity is given to us to stand. Want to be like them. We want to remember that our father has. We need to pull an hand to put a new structure. That is our government. After our government finish, government will now on their own build a house for us. But we don't want to do that. So you see, in our blood, we are. I don't know. We can take away. God said, "Don't remove hand for our matter." Canada.
All right.
So, don't know who will change us.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much there. But you see, this is what is killing Nigeria. This attitude of how we go do. Now God, now go help us. Now God could send person come. That attitude is what is keeping. See, when we have platforms like this, it behoves that we look critically inwards and bring out a solution and come up with a solution and come up with a critical solution for a critical problem that is threatening to put Nigeria 6 feet below. Which way Nigeria? Remember, Nigeria is not about the politicians. 200 million people. Put all the politicians together, 36 states, the FCT inclusive, it still does not make up half of the population. Like I said, about 50% or less, let's say between 40 to 50%, or even 60% of the population are youths. Now, a large chunk of those youths are the ones living in poverty. A large chunk of them. And they have been deceived to carry guns and machetes, killing themselves. And they feel like they are living the life, but in reality, they are living in abject poverty. Or maybe poverty. But there is poverty inside. It's time for us to wake up. It's time for us. The energy we use in pursuing APC, PDP, ABGA, ADP, DPP, and all the P's that we have out there during elections, the energy we use in fighting my mosque is bigger than your mosque, or my church is bigger than your church. The energy we use, we can use it to make Nigeria a better place. If we can just think. A lot of people who have called in have said, government should do this, agriculture, refinery, we should ensure that. But what about the people? Because there's this things comedians say every once in a while, that when you're hungry, you discover your talent. So why can't the people discover Nigeria's talent amidst all of this hunger? Because like I said, the future might just be bleak. Just might be bleak. 95.1fm, what's your name and where are you calling in from?
Yeah, good morning, Canada.
Welcome, Chris.
Yeah, this is calling from Port Harcourt. I don't know if I would say that I have learned my lesson not to criticize government again than to start praising them in everything they do, whether good or bad. I praise them because it seems like this is the right way now in Nigeria. Don't criticize. If you see a government eating human being legs, don't tell everybody. Just say, "Oga, continue. Eat it. It's good." And I didn't see any country that developed like that. I've said it this time with that number. If you make any announcement there now, position 2 vehicles at Polaris, shout Ghana, 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 Ghana. Even those countries that we say they have the war have ravaged their country, just shout that country. by next week you will not see people that you see in the street of Port Harcourt and they like.
Sorry, but I get what you're trying to say. Sorry, we lost you there. 95.1 FM, what's your name and where are you calling in from?
Good morning, this is Akanimo from Port Harcourt.
All right, Akanimo, welcome.
Yes. There are the solution for Nigerian for poverty capital to be solved. Let's look at education first of all. I think education is knowledge. What type of education are we giving to our people?
Interesting.
Is it education that will bring knowledge to the people? We have been shouting that our education is zero. Nothing cannot become. So where is this knowledge come from? If you don't have the right education. Now, with right education, we are talking about mechanized farming that you go into. Which of education are we going to use to compete in the world? That if we send our yam outside, they will not send it back. It's all about education. Education, and we don't like to invest in human capital. If you have anybody that has money, want to keep it aside for himself, we should look at these two things: education and how to invest in human capital.
All right.
To get it right.
All right. Thank you very much, Dad. Thank you very much, Akanimo. One more call, 95.1 FM. What's your name? Where are you calling in from now? Yeah.
Solution. Team is there once again. System matters a lot.
All right.
You know, the system you put in place will determine how the individuals there will function.
All right.
Just like bank. If you go to the bank, if you are a teller, you are working there, you are a cashier, you cannot come out with 1 naira no matter how this thing you are, because how the system has configured the staff there. So until the system is fixed, there's nothing that can be done. Even the individuals, they are trying. That's why the people that are called Nigerians, when they go abroad, they perform well. But here, because the system is choking, because there's what they call value system. When you bring people who have divergent and antithetical value system together, it cannot work.
Now, let me ask you a question, because you keep going there and you're beginning to annoy me, actually. America, wait. America, how many different tribes live in America? How many? Can you help me now? How many different tribes live in America?
Thank God I didn't mention tribe, but let me answer your question.
No, you said divergent views. They have people coming from different tribes now, yeah?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you now.
And I'm saying how many different, that is value system has to do with your tribe, your culture. And I'm asking you.
That's what I want to explain to you.
Okay.
That's what I want to explain to you.
And I'm listening.
Because in America have put structure in place.
And did you hear the part?
I'm coming now.
Did you hear the
question? Listen. Value system is that structure that drives it. That's the system that functions. So wherever you are coming from all over the world, there are things that have been put on ground.
Chimeze, did you hear the part where I said that Africans, we have decided to concentrate on our differences and I mentioned it even before you called in, and I said that in civilized countries that they, despite their differences, would rather work for the common goal. I mentioned it, and anybody who listen from the top will tell you, listen, I'm going somewhere. So do you know that even if I give you what you're asking for, your secession, you still have people who have different views than you do and who will still not work for the common goal that you think should be?
No, the system will compel them.
What system? What system?
Let me tell you now, human beings are naturally greedy, bad, and evil. But there are systems. This thing you call law. It is the thing that people that is placed that is put in order for everybody to comply. That's how society functions.
And you feel
in Nigeria is not like
let me ask you a question. Let's even have this conversation now. Let's say we give you secession now, yeah? Who are the people who are going to lead? Who are the people who are going to be in government?
Thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
You asked it when you started. So I want to answer you.
Yes.
The structure that is already in ground. That's why I told you about
structure?
System.
What structure are you talking about?
The structure on ground is that confederation that we are going to practice. People who control their resources and political leaders. I'm telling you, it's not about laughing.
I'm laughing.
In politics, let me tell you, political leaders will earn lesser than teachers.
Okay.
Because
let me ask you a question. Why are you not practicing it now? Why are you not practicing it now?
Because of the Nigerians.
Really? Too many excuses. Thank you very much. I gotta go. Thank you very much. Now, before I go, I want to wrap up the conversation by saying Gaddafi at one time was hero because he had fought for the liberation of Libya, right? All right? He was hero. He was celebrated. But you see, whether you like it or not, this is Africa. The structure will still remain an African structure. And Gaddafi took laws into his own hands, according to what Libyan people said. I was not there. I mean, why were they fighting? Why were they protesting? I mean, he was the same hero who had liberated them, right? But then again, he went on the same path that his predecessor had traveled. So whether you like it or not, secession does not, as far as I'm concerned, it does not solve the issue. The same leaders will still be the same leaders in that new state, whether you like it or not. Show us right now the structure. Begin to show example. Begin to show any which ways. I don't want to delve into that conversation right now. But it's 11 o'clock and it's time for a new conversation. I'll play you Which Way Nigeria by Sonny Okosun, and when I return, we will be looking at the House of Assembly in Rivers State. They recently adjourned till 2nd of June. Oh my. We will be talking about their security trust fund law and how it clashes with the security vote. And I would like all the educated minds, all the intellectuals to listen and educate me, because I am so perplexed, I'm so confused, and there's so much I want to learn. I want to learn this morning. Stay tuned. This way, or which way in Nigeria?
We know everything that goes wrong because we are part of the government. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die.
Which way Nigeria?
Which way?
Which way Nigeria?
Tell me.
Which way to go?
Which way to go?
I love my fatherland.
Oh yeah.
I want to know
Want to know.
which way Nigeria is heading to.
Inefficiency and indiscipline is ruining the country now. Corruption here, there, and everywhere. Inflation is soaring high. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die.
Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go?
Which way to go?
Which Way Nigeria by Sonny Okosun. And in case you're just joining us, I am Kalada, the man of the people, and I just finished the last hour asking the people which way. Some people said, one particular caller kept emphasizing on, dividing, and you see, I what's the word now? I have a problem with division because people who call for division will always want to divide. They would always want to keep separating, and because people will never be of the same opinion. Maybe similar opinion, maybe have similar interests, but they can never be the same. There's always going to be that self-interest in the pursuits of whatever common goal that they think they have. So imagine we divide. Then there will be, it is supposed to be my tribe. My tribe fought the most for it. My people, my community, my village. And this person would say, I'm the one who brought the most money for weapons. I'm the one who brought the most money. I was the one who went to do this. I was the one who took the legal battle. There's always going to be all of that. So my question is, if we can use all of that energy in division, why can we not use that energy to develop our communities, our states? And for me, that would even be the best way of, what's the word now? The best way of seceding from, you don't literally secede, but looking at how you've brought development to your region, looking at how you've developed your region all by yourself, figuratively, you're making a statement. But what do I know? But let's move on to other conversations. I remember you're tuned to Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Yes, we are your premium talk radio station, premium. And so we're going to be having a premium discuss right now. And you probably must have had it in the news. Was it yesterday? Was it the day before? That the House of Assembly passed into law the State Security Fund Bill. Before that time, I was going to ask the question. I was waiting to ask the question, where is the National Assembly? Where is the House of Assembly? Where is the House of Assembly? And why I was going to ask that question was that for a while now, the state has been run on executive orders. And just as I've argued on several occasions, the governor has the right to executive orders. It's enshrined in the Constitution. But I kind of think also that if we had the legislative arm of government working optimally, because I don't think they were up until the time they came out to debate or pass into law the bill, they probably would have enacted laws that would have helped the governor fight against COVID-19, like Lagos State did. The governor might not have needed to put in executive orders if we had the legislative arm being proactive, just like the governor, and making laws, making laws that will serve the current situation where we find ourselves in. I'm imagining that if the person sent to the chamber to represent the people had made the laws might have been a little bit people friendly. I'm not saying the governor's laws are anti-people, but they have this Ama-like effects. You mess up, you get punished. That kind of effect. And I'm not saying it's such a bad thing, but I'm just saying the legislative arm of government would have come up with a more relatable law. And just maybe because it's coming from the legislative arm, the people might have, probably, whether they liked it or not, accepted it. But no, they were nowhere to be found. They were nowhere from the time the index case came into town to the time that we've had 33 cases recorded. No. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way. Correct me. You know of any law? I might know. I mean, I'm open for corrections today. You know of any law? If you know, you do tell me, please. Because I'm wondering if there was a law, then there would be no need for executive orders. Which way? River State. Which way? River State. So while I was wondering in the course of the week where the House of Assembly members were, they came out of thin air, and then they passed the State Security Fund bill into law. And I'm asking myself the question, important bill, yes, but is that what we need in the time that we find ourselves in? Oh my. I mean, if you remember the State Security Trust Fund bill, I think it came up in the month of January. And as at January 29, January 30, thereabout, there was the... Okay. I think it came up in the year 2019. I say, okay, yeah, I'm looking at the report now. 2019, it came out in 2019. Christian Ayakwa, Honorable, was the chairman of the ad hoc committee set up by the Rivers State House of Assembly to do due diligence on that bill, right? Yeah. I think on January 30 or thereabout, they had a public hearing, a one-day public hearing, and they had different security agencies, civil society organizations, and even the media at that public hearing. And basically, in summary, the Security Trust Fund bill proposed that certain contributions will be made by private organizations and governments for the funding of security in Rivers State. Now, it did make sense to me in a way because now, agencies like the Neighborhood Safety Watch, the vigilantes like OSPAC, ASPAC, ROSPAC, where funding has been a problem, will get to see certain funds. Even, operations, like the one that was taken by the governor when he bought several vehicles, several gunboats for, various security agencies in the state. I think it will also, be easy for the government to go about such spending or such expenditure. But then I decided to do some research. It's not hard. It's not so hard to work. I mean, if you have an internet-enabled device, you just go on Google and you search for the words security votes. You can add in Nigeria. And you would see Google display Wikipedia where it is defined security vote in Nigeria is a monthly allowance that is allocated to the 36 states within the Federal Republic of Nigeria for the sole purpose of funding security services within such states. And yet again, I want to be corrected if I'm wrong. Now, the monthly fund runs into billions of naira and vary based on the level of security required by the individual states. Now, Wikipedia goes on to say states such as Rivers State, who face security threats such as pipeline destructions and kidnapping, receive one of the largest security vote funds. So I decided to, probe a little bit further and check what is the amount Rivers State supposedly receives as security votes. And then I'm looking at it. 1.5 billion naira monthly. 1.5 billion naira monthly. Translates to 18 billion naira in 12 months. That's annually, yeah? In 12 months. One of the largest. I think the second largest. If not, the second largest. The first largest is Akwa Ibom State. Is it Akwa Ibom? Sorry. Delta State, Akwa Ibom State, then Rivers State. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Delta State, Akwa Ibom State, Rivers State. Security votes. Now, I understand that 1.5 billion naira cannot buy us all the security equipment that we need. But I'm of the school of thought that it is not every month that the government will buy those security equipment. So if we begin to do it in phases, we probably might be able to achieve and maintain some of these. I mean, 1.5 billion naira. 1.5 billion naira. If you decide to buy cars for all the police officers or all the police stations in Rivers State, you probably can use 3 months to buy it with 1.5 billion naira. If that is not even too much, but let's just say 3 months. You want to buy weapons, you have to go through the NSA, right? And so maybe in 6 months, you should be able to buy all the necessary weapons. Let's say you want to buy gunboats, and now you've spent 9 months, right? You could use the next 6 months in buying gunboats for all the waterways in River State. It's going to be a project, a long-term project, right? Because whether you like it or not, with all the contributions that will still be made, it will still not be enough. I'm talking about the state security fund now. It will still not be enough to fund security in River State. So it makes me wonder, why is there a need for a state security fund? I want to be educated. I really am open. See, this is not me bashing. I don't like, I might criticize, and I keep explaining because I realize that recently a lot of people misinterpret what I say on air. So I might criticize, but I don't bash. I have no problem with the River State government. I am not against the River State government. But, these are pertinent questions, and I know a lot of people have it in their minds, and I'm just, the voice of the people. I'm just the voice of the people, and I'm helping them ask those questions. And if you have the answers, instead of raining insults and curses, you can actually educate us and tell us, really, what is the need for the state security fund? Security votes in Nigeria. State security fund. Maybe something just occurred to me. Maybe the River State government, maybe, I don't know, maybe, they're supposed to contribute as well. Maybe they will be contributing the security votes. Maybe, like I said, maybe there will be, donating all the security votes that they get every month to the state security fund. Maybe. I mean, if that is what they want to do, then it is a welcome development. But what do I know? And, there's a part of it in the law that says the governor at the end of the year will be telling Rivers people how the security fund was spent. How about we go back and retailor that clause and say retailor it to every month? Because, we need to, there's so much distrust in society and mistrust at the same time that we need to be carried along every month. How will the state generate the funds they will be contributing to the state security fund? How will they spend the money every month? Or not how? Maybe, sometimes, the spending will come with the peculiarity at the time. So they should tell us how they spent the money at the end of the month. These are the issues. These are the issues I want to talk about. But I'm wondering, why did they adjourn sitting yet again till the 2nd of June in a time like this when we need them to be making laws, laws that suits the time that we find ourselves in. And just like I asked earlier on the 10 o'clock show, I'm going to ask again. Which way, River State? Which way, River State? Which way, River State? 20 minutes gone past the hour 11. It's time for you to jump in on this very conversation. Let's know what your thoughts are. Security. What do they call it again? State Security Fund, right? State Security Trust Fund. Okay, that's the word I was missing. Trust. 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 The word trust was missing, and it wasn't intentional. It wasn't intentional. But I know there's so much distrust and mistrust in our society that one would wonder how much trust can we find in the State Security Trust Fund that is now law in River State. The numbers are 0817-000-0951 and 0810-951-0951. Like I said, you can hit me up on Twitter. Because the text message portal is down, my handle is TheKalada. All right, I'm going to take the first call, 95.1 FM. I lost that one. Do call me back, 0817-000-0951 and 0810-951-0951. Which way, River State? Which way, River State? 95.1 FM, what's your name and where are you calling in from?
Hello, Mr. Kalada.
Yes, welcome.
I'm calling from Port Harcourt. My name is Chris.
All right, welcome.
Yeah, welcome. What you are saying is very, very important. And when we look at things, discover that a lot of things is happening in this country. Leadership has failed us.
Oh, sorry, there we lost you. Apologies. 95.1 FM. What's your name and where are you calling in from?
Hello, Canada, man of the people.
Welcome.
Yes, my name is George. George calling from my work.
All right, George, welcome.
The House of Assembly passing a law for state security fund. I think.
Okay, we seem to be having problems with the connection, but just keep trying. Engineers should come check it out. 95.1 FM. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Good morning, Canada. My name is AB, calling from Port Harcourt. Canada. Before I proceed to Pitchway River State, let me correct an impression that some of the opinions of the callers can also go a long way in directing your own opinion, in the sense that there are things you will say you doubt, and the opinion of callers may also correct you in that way.
That's why we're having an interaction. So, what is your point?
Then, what my point is that when he said secession is the same leadership.
We're not talking about that. We've moved on.
I know. I want to correct the impression.
Can we move on, AB, or should I let you go?
Okay. Let's move on to River State. Which way? Do you agree that River State is also a product of that experiment of water and oil that can never miss? So, in that aspect, what are you expecting? It's the same result, my brother. We will correct that impression of water and oil that can never miss, of which it will never miss. We will never get.
All right, thank you very much. That's not what we're talking about, but thank you very much. What do you make of the State Security Fund bill passed into law recently? 95.1 FM. What's your name and where are you calling in from?
Good morning or good afternoon, Canada.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
You are talking about the State Security Fund.
Obina, right?
Yes, it's Obina.
Obina, welcome.
I commend you. I commend you, Mezetu. Two of you are wonderful. It's not a laughing matter. You see, I think they have passed the fund. It's a State Security Fund, eh? Now, who is holding that money? Is it not the governor? The House of Assembly or anyone, they will just pass the law and leave the money for governor. I remember here in River State, the governor get some healers for security agents and say operations thing. But currently, in Nigeria Constitution, federal government is not funding any state police or the military or any of them. It's only the state government.
No. That's not true. That's not true.
They just give them the security vote money, and they remove.
The salaries of the police officers and the army men are from the federal government.
I mean the crime aspect. Crime aspect of any car, giving them new guns like the one I'm seeing. The bandits are using. Mint AK-47. I've not seen any brand new gun for Nigerian police or any other army. So I urge federal government, because it's them that is this security problem. Yesterday, somebody was saying that if any security passes 24 hours, the politicians are involved. I was laughing.
They say it's from Abacha.
It's from Abacha. I don't know. The day I say somewhere, they say it's a rumor. It's probably been preaching propaganda. But I hear it from Nigerian mouths. They always say it every day. See, Nigerian government have failed. They have their weakness in the security part. Do you know what is bringing more poverty is this IDP camp. Check how many thousand people in IDP camp, no work. They'll sit down, they'll be bringing food in IDP. Refugees, we have refugees, they're celebrating refugees. Why won't you get poverty, brother? Why won't you get poverty while you're creating refugees? See, 2011, 2012, now the Kalo was the United Nations Assembly preaching, we want Nigeria must remain, so that if Nigeria remains, Nigeria will be good. But if you keep on killing people, we will leave you.
All right then.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you very much for calling in there. Keep your calls coming in. 95.1 FM. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hello.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, Chief Okafor calling from Aba.
All right, sir. Chief Okafor from Aba, welcome.
My man, Kalada, how are you doing?
I'm great.
If anybody accusing you that you are doing this, saying that, doesn't actually understand, because myself, I've accused you of being a pro-PDP whenever you are making comments. I've accused you before now.
Yes, you have. You have.
Yes, even though I don't belong to any party, but because that all your statements go towards,
so you say.
So what I want to say is that maybe you've not been at the corridor of power, as an old man I am. I've once known what happens. What they do is that the money I saying that comes from allocation comes from maybe anywhere.
Security.
Security. It's not true. What they do is that the governor will call the House members and tell them what he wants. will say like it is 1.5 billion. You tell them pass 1.5 billion for me as security vote, and I will give you 100,000.
But the security vote comes from federal government.
No. That's what I'm telling you, that you may not know the workings of what is happening in the state. When you receive your own allocation, receive your in your case in Rivers and Abia, you receive 30% derivative depending on the oil wells you have.
Yes, that's for derivative. That's for 13% derivative funds. But when it comes to security votes, it is for security, and I'm looking at it, and it said it comes from the federal government.
Anyway, security vote doesn't come from the. I think I've been at the corridor of power, and I know what I'm saying.
Okay.
The governor will call
his house members.
Yes, and tell them, look at the money I want for security vote. And at the end of the day, they will ask him what is our own. Then he will say, okay, I can give you 100,000. So you give 100,000 to the number of that is there. They will not take the other. You know, this security vote is not accounted for.
Yes.
It's not accounted for.
Yes.
It doesn't account to anybody. So what it does is, it's not like you're using it to buy the implements that the security is going to use. He will still budget for those ones in budget of the year. What he does is that from that security vote, if you come to see him now as a colleague, he will put a hand in the box and give you a brown envelope. Then, from there, like you are a journalist, you come, he will give you a brown envelope. Then, if at the end of the month, he can give the commissioner of police 200,000.
All right.
All
right.
Then give him money, 50,000 for area commanders and 30,000 to DPOs. That's how it is spent. Whatever remains, he takes for every month.
All right.
So that's how it works. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, there. 95.1 FM, what's your name and where are you calling in from?
Canada, I called back. My name is George. George, calling from
George, you had your time now, yeah?
Yes, no. So let me talk about this open update. Update. If the governor Yesowike can give the update of the security fund.
All right, quickly.
Understand me? One thing I want to say is that the update in the security fund, I don't think that Governor Yesowike can also give that update accurately and be accountable to it, because there is what they call open government participation. Open government participation, whatever money you are spending from anything, you have to let the public. You can even that there was even the money they share to the state that we are open.
I'm trying to understand what you're trying to say. I'm trying. Okay. Anyways, thank you very much for calling back in. I've got to move on. 95.1 FM. Yeah. What's your name and where are you calling in from?
Good morning, Canada.
Yeah. Good morning.
My name is
Chima, please turn off your radio.
Yes, I can hear you, Canada. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yes, Canada. I think the security vote, can go for that. I see, and there's nothing. Money is being given, is being used. In a situation where a constitution will make a provision for a particular billions of naira to be given to an individual without any means of, rendering account on how such money is being expended. So I think now that they have passed a bill on what is it called?
State Security Trust Fund.
Yeah, State Security Trust Fund. Such money can be going to there. You understand?
So you are advocating that the money will be sent to the trust fund?
Yes.
Okay.
It should be going there. What that? That's what it's meant for. It's for security votes, to secure life and property.
All right, now.
You understand? But we have seen that over the year, the money is not being used for that purpose. You understand? So I think Canada, another thing, I think they have to repeat our constitution, honestly.
Right,
it is wrong. Right. I want that very clause to be blotted out. How can the constitution make a provision for a certain amount will be given to individual without accountability on how such money has been expended? You understand? So that's my take. Now that they have made that law, the money should be signed there. Thank you very much.
All right. 95.1 FM, what's your name and where are you calling in from?
Hello. Canada, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Colin. The Security Trust Fund, I think I overheard them making a debate on it, the House of Assembly members. I think 2 days or 2 days ago. And a particular member was opposed that the thing not the constitution should. I mean, the aspect of
step
it
down.
that says, aspect of it that say it should be audited before it is brought to the House of Assembly. Some people were arguing that it should be edited. I mean, there is no accountability. That is why a particular member against it being edited before it comes to the House, before the House of Assembly. I mean, what I don't understand. This is to breed corruption. It's supposed to be edited. Anytime they want to, present it to the House of Assembly, it's supposed to be edited. I mean, they're supposed to go.
I'm trying to understand. Are you saying he's supposed to have attached how he's going to spend the money? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, how you spend the money. You're supposed to attach how you spend the money. Every cover that is spent on it is supposed to be attached.
All right.
And then be brought before the House of Assembly, State House of Assembly. But some people who are, cronies to the governor, were opposed to it. This is very, very bad. It's supposed to be attached with edited account.
All right, then.
All right. It's supposed to be done.
All right. Thank you thank you very much. We got to push now. We got to move. All right. Thank you very much.
Because they are all like rubber stamp there.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for calling in. 95.1fm. What's your name and where are you calling in from?
Yeah, my name is Gabriel Okoye. I'm calling from Shuba.
All right. Welcome.
One of the problems that I think Nigeria are facing is that we lack database.
We lack what?
We lack database.
Okay.
Like currently now I'm building on a project. I have a project at hand that will help solve that problem.
All right.
So let's just look at that.
Okay. I was confused. I didn't really get you there, but I'm just gonna act like I did. But if you're just joining the conversation, what are we talking about? We talking about the recent bill that was signed into law by the State House of Assembly. I'm talking about while private organizations will also contribute. Or I'm thinking, if not, then what will the security votes be used for? And we need some more explanation, and that's what I'm asking for. And if you have that explanation in the law where it says that the governor will give a yearly briefing on how the money was spent.
So, like these companies will be paying a sort of tax to the government on security.
On security, I know, yeah.
But now I've been wondering, since they are already paying tax both to the federal government.
Exactly my point. And from those taxes, we got security votes.
You will now compel them now to pay other tax. I don't know. These companies that are already struggling, I think it's not a welcome development.
All right then.
Yes, because already you can see what COVID-19 has done. So many companies cannot even pay their workers. And now you are bringing up more burden on these companies. Oh, God. No. It does not make sense for me. These things can be done when things are okay, not at this critical time. In fact, I was thinking that they will embark on passing a bill on how to fight this COVID-19. Just at Lagos State.
Like I said.
That's what I was expecting this state assembly to do. But to my surprise, greatest surprise, they just went off. Talking of security trust, this is not what the state needs at this critical time. Already, just as you stated, the governor gets security votes, which I think is enough for him for now. So why going into this kind of, backing on fiscal journey? So I think it's not a priority for the state for now.
All right then.
And again, accountability. From what they just said, there will be no proper accountability. From what you read about this security trust fund. So I will, although they have already passed it, since they have passed it, it will be signed into law. But how it's going to work still remain a myth to me.
Yeah, even to me. Yeah. But thank you very much, Mr. John, for calling in. Keep your calls coming in 0817-000-0951 and 0810-951-0951. Let's get to hear from you. 95.1 FM. What's your name and where are you calling in from?
Yeah, Canada. My name is Leon. I'm calling from Port Harcourt, Nigeria.
All right, welcome.
I want to make one thing clear. The issue of the security trust fund, right from I think so they introduced last year when they introduced it they say it's meant for especially who will die in active service during active service.
It was suggested by a police officer who was at the what do you call it now? Who was at the public hearing. That was not really the core function. It was that issue you're talking about was suggested by a police officer who was there.
Yes, but.
Hello. All right, we seem to be having difficulties with the phone lines, but keep your calls coming in. 95.1 FM. What's your name and where are you calling in from? All right, now, yeah. 0817-000-0951, 810-951-0951. We're looking at the states.
This one will help them a lot of ways. All these kind things that we are seeing that two people with their problem, they go call them, they will some money from their hands. I think all those laws will stop.
All right.
Because they believe that at the end of the month, this is what is going to enter my hand, and that one will ginger them to do the more work that they are doing, more than the one they have been doing before.
All right.
So I will beg them to implement that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling in. Thank you very much for calling in there. All right, we've got 18 minutes left on the show. 18 minutes left. And I would like to hear from you. What do you make of the state security bill signed into law? And what then happens to the security vote? That's one question that I'm also asking. And I am wondering, should we see the governor give a monthly appraisal of how the monies have been spent? 95.1 FM. What's your name and where are you calling in from?
Canada.
Yes, Obina.
I will still say that everything rely on the governor.
All right.
Because if the companies are paying security votes to the governor, to me, it's not good.
All right.
Because the tax have been paid. You from the tax and settle the company securities. If anything, but here, brother, let me remind you. Do you know that there is what they call amnesty program? That even some companies are helping the government to give amnesty to people.
All right.
Because of crime.
All right.
So that there will not be insecurity.
All right, now, yeah.
The government of Nigeria have failed in securing their people.
All
Let them not blame anybody. No matter how much you lose, they are the problem of the security.
Okay.
That's the truth.
All right, then.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. Thank you very much there. All right. I do not know what's happening to the phone lines. I seem to be having... Okay. I would need to take a quick break. Maybe the engineers would have to come check it out. But then back to the phone lines. Let's see if this works. 95.1 FM.
Hello, Mr. Canada.
Yes, Mr. Sam, welcome on the show.
Yeah, the man of the people.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Canada, you see, in as much as we have a rubber-stamp titled men in the name of honorables,
yeah.
The truth is that who are we trusting funds to before we even talk about security? Because when they begin to devise means on how to begin to extract money from all these companies and begin to use it for reason that they will not be able to give account, it becomes very worrisome. Who are we trusting funds to? Now, when you come about security, this is a state whereby boys who were terrorizing when there was marching order from the federal government to come and smoke this boy out of the town, people were quick to grant them amnesty, and it was as if they go for holidays. And time to time, they keep operating in one way or the other. And today they are talking about Canada. Have you looked at the bill? They stipulated this thing of that bill. Hello, Mr. Calada.
I can hear you, Mr. Sam. Go ahead.
So the truth is that the tax upon these companies that are here is already too much. They should not begin to create another one. And one thing again is that Canada, now the security vote that is coming from the federal government, how have these men been utilizing this money? How have they been giving accountability? How have they been doing well with this money that they are now coming with another issue about security trust fund? See, Canada, I don't understand what they are doing here. The truth is that I'm very, very...
All right.
It's very, very shameful that people who are honorable here represent...
All right. Thank you.
See them coming singing praises of the governor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Not the opinion of the people.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Sam. We gotta go. We gotta go. Thank you very much, sir. 95.1 FM. What's your name and where are you calling in from?
My name is Joshua, calling from River State.
Please turn off your radio. Please.
All right, my name is Joshua, calling from River State.
All right, welcome, Joshua.
Yeah. Who are we going to trust this fund for? And what are they coming up to tell us about security fund? Why coronavirus is on the ground? If at all, it's in River State. It's very bad that our House of Assembly cannot help the state in particular. They are doing their own business. But during the time of election, they will tell us they are going to defend us, they are going to do this, they are going to do that. But what I'm assuring us, whatever thing that goes up must surely come down. They are doing, and the children are learning from them. The women are learning from them. The men are also following them up. But it's very, very bad that this state cannot account for the money that they are putting on the ground. The tax they are collecting from the company today is making the company not to employ our youth. It's making the company not to employ our people.
All right.
I'm assuring them that this thing is causing confusion in the community.
Thank you very much. We got to move on now. Yeah. 95.1 FM. What's your name and where are you calling in from? Yes, what's your name?
Yeah, Canada. Sorry, I was on the road and I entered a non-network area. Didn't drop.
Sorry, who's this? All right, welcome back now, yeah?
Yes. I was going to the second aspect of the bill passed recently, yesterday or thereabouts, about the security fund. How it is administered is that the governor will now impose taxes on the companies, every shop in the state. Like government workers, you have what you pay from your salary and all that. That's how what is going to raise the money. But the issue is, what is the money for? You understand? That's what the citizens should be asking him. What is the money for? Because it's not enough to say security.
But they just told you for securing the state. Yes. I mean, you've been told already.
Yes. Is it going to be accountable? Why is it that the not allowed to give?
We just told you that
public hearing.
No, there was public hearing. There was a one-day public hearing. I mean, we carried it on the news as far back as January. There was public hearing on.
Okay, was there any public hearing?
Yeah, there was. I just said there was public hearing. We carried it on the news.
Okay, maybe those who went there don't know how it is going to administer. If not, as you are now, you will pay the security levy from your salary. Everybody, every citizen, yes. So the income has been using. What is it?
But did you hear the part where I said that is why I'm asking the question? What then happens to the security votes that we do have?
That is exactly that's the question. That's the real question. What happens to that one?
All right then.
So that one. Okay, bye-bye.
All right, thank you very much for calling in. Thank you very much. Got 11 minutes left on the show. Oh my. Keep your calls coming in 0817-000-0951 and 0810-951-0951. And we are looking at security in Rivers State. Security is a very sensitive issue in Rivers State. And now we have a state security fund. And I'm wondering what happens to the security votes. 95.1 FM. I'm still yet to get the answer that I hoped I would get. 95.1 FM. What's your name? All right, now 95.1 FM.
Phone is a very welcome development. But when you talk of security, mostly in River State, everybody goes to army and police. All security apparatus are very vital in terms of protecting property and security and lives. So I'm calling on the security trust fund to ensure that the other security agencies being deployed by the federal government to all the
security votes.
That is what I'm saying. That's my emphasis. I said the security trust fund should take care of that very aspect too.
Okay, so you're saying there should be a measure.
They are all over. The logistics are lacking for them to do their work as is expected. I think the security group can take care of it too.
All right then. Thank you very much, Noble. There. Thank you very much. Yeah, he's saying that if it's a measure, then it probably will work. And I think I agree with you. And that's why, the House of Assembly needs to expatiate. The River State government needs to expatiate so that the people of River State can understand what this bill is all about. They need to let us know. They need to teach us, school us, and not just pass the bill into law. I mean, because I'm very critical. What happens to the 1.5 billion naira that comes in every month? Every month. All right, 95.1 FM. Hello, yeah,
Hello.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Calling from Avon.
Hello.
I'm calling from Avon.
All right, I can't really hear you. Sorry about that. 95.1 FM. What's your name and where are you calling in from?
Canada, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Cody.
Thank you very much. I think the aim of the bill and its passage is to generate more funds. They might be in the same account or different accounts. But in the face of the enormous security challenges in the state, I think I don't have problem with it as far as the usage is effective.
No, see, I don't have a problem with it as well, Cody, but I'm asking very critical questions. What happens to the security vote? Yes, generating more funds. I agree with you, but then how have we used the funds that we were getting before in terms of, security votes? What necessitated the need for a trust fund? Why are the private organizations, donating and contributing to security in River State after paying taxes, by the way? And taxes, covers all of these other things that we've mentioned. So I'm wondering.
Canada, you see, in terms of activities, we always compare River State with Lagos State, which is justified. Because after Lagos State, the next area that generates a lot of economic activity is River State. So I think Lagos State has something like that. They are the first guys, I think, to have, put in place this security trust fund. So maybe we try to copy them. There's nothing bad about it, in my opinion.
But Lagos State that you've mentioned does not have as much as we do when it comes to security votes. If I'm looking at it now, Lagos State takes what does Lagos State take again? Give me a minute there. Lagos State takes okay, almost the same thing. Yeah, you're right. Almost the same thing. Yeah, okay.
Fine. So I think it's okay. It's Lagos State doing it. Let's do it here.
All right.
My problem is let us make effective use of the money so that people will be convinced.
But you see, with Lagos State, there's a breakdown on how they are using it. Now, with Lagos State, 1.297 billion goes for public order and safety. Then the other one goes for social protection. And so with that, how they're using it. And so if they come up with a security trust fund, you would know that, okay, this is how they were using it and they need to generate more money. But in River State, I mean, we don't even know what has been happening with the security votes.
I agree with you because if you listen yesterday, there was an aspect of this bill that was challenged, where they talk about accountability during budgeting.
Yeah.
But you never know. Let's have our own peculiarities. It's a microcosm of Nigeria as a nation.
All right.
Everything good in Nigeria is good in Rivers. Everything bad is bad in Rivers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Cody, for calling in. And I will take one last call and we will wrap things up on the show for this morning and make way for the news at noon. And after that, sports will come your way with conversations from the world of sports. 95.1 FM. What's your name and where are you calling in from?
Good morning, Colorado.
Yeah, good morning to you.
I'm Prince. I'm calling from GRA, Port Harcourt.
All right, Prince from Jerry, welcome.
Thank you. The issue of this security transfund that they just passed in the River State House of Assembly, I really agree with the last caller that since the Lagos State government is doing it already, here in River State,
all right,
especially the kind of insecurity we have here, if that will help River State to cut this insecurity here, sir, let's just give a try and see how it will work.
All right.
That's my own opinion. Thank you very
All right,
much.
thank you very much for calling in, and that's how we wrap things up. I'll leave you once again with Sonny Okosun's Which Way Nigeria, and let's see, maybe after the discussions that we've had, probably we would see improvements in our society. But I'm tempted to take this last call. 95.1 FM, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
My name is Temple, calling from Sugar.
All right, Temple, welcome.
All right. Is it on the issue about the security vote? When we talk about leadership, you made comment about distrust and mistrust, and leading the people requires guiding them and telling them the way.
Right.
On this issue of security, you just mentioned something about Lagos State. You know directly this is where this goes to, this is where this goes to. I think in River State, part of what the challenge we are having is transparency, although not only River State, general in Nigeria.
All right.
That will do with leadership. Now, it just like the concern you raised there is a very, very important one. We have security votes, and this law has been passed. My own suggestion, I think the security vote should be synced in there, and how it is spent should be explained forthwith. Some of these vehicles, there was a time the governor bought some gunboats and all that. I believe that it is from those money that they get those, buy those.
All right.
It is not clearly explained.
All right.
So that people will not be having this thing. They are doing, but try to.
All right, thank you very much. We've got to go now. Thank you very much there. And that's how we wrap things up. Thank you for being a part of the show. Stay tuned to Today 95.1 FM.
Every little thing that goes wrong, we start to blame the government. We are changeable, reliable.
The efforts to eliminate COVID-19 from our environment is indeed a war which demands our collective support. For us in Good Leadership Advancement Foundation, River State Relief, the war should be against the disease and not against the people. Therefore, policies and actions of government both at the federal and state levels must show reasonable cause of empathy, care, love, and human feelings towards the people, not intimidation or coercion or outright threat to their lives and sources of livelihood. We enjoin every citizen of our dear state and country to obey every lawful directives and laws of government meant to save us all from contracting this dreaded disease. Please stay at home, stay safe, and stay alive. Surely, this COVID-19 will come to pass. Be steadfast. Together, we shall overcome as we put our trust in God. This message is courtesy of the Leadership Council of Relief.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News.
Good afternoon. This is the World News at noon on your premium talk radio. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. I am Kala Rebatable. Now, the headlines. Nigeria records 288 new cases of coronavirus, bringing its total to 5,445 cases in Nigeria, with 171 deaths. 3 tiers of government of the Federation shares total sum of 606.196 billion naira as federal allocation for month of April 2020. River State government adds legal practitioners on court duty among those to be on exceptional duties during lockdown in the state. On the foreign scene, Israel set to get its first Ethiopia-born minister. Stay tuned for the news in details. Nigeria has recorded 288 new cases of the coronavirus, bringing the total of 5,445 cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria. According to the Nigeria Center for Disease Control in its tweet official handle, the 179 new cases were discovered in Lagos. Kaduna State has 15 new cases in both Katsina and Jigawa, 13 in Borno, 11 in Ogun, 8 in Kano, 7 in the FCT. Niger and Ekiti recorded 4 each. Oyo, Delta, and Bauchi recorded 3 each, while Kwara has 2 and 1 in Edo. NCDC report shows that Nigeria now has 171 fatality, while 1,320 have been discharged. The federal government has disclosed its readiness to increase its weekly COVID-19 testing by 9,100. The federal government says the move follows its readiness to repurpose the tuberculosis gene expert machines already deployed in all the states and the Federal Capital Territory. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, in its national strategy to scale up access to coronavirus disease testing in Nigeria, posted on its website that the objective of planning to repurpose the tuberculosis machines were to decentralize and speed up testing across the country and strengthen national surveillance for COVID-19. In the document, the NCDC explained that the country has 407 gene expert instruments deployed in 399 health facilities across the country for use as first-line testing for TB diagnosis. It, however, noted that the United States-based Food and Drug Administration had granted the manufacturer, CFED, emergency use authorizations for the use of the instrument and specially designed cartridge in testing for COVID-19. Meanwhile, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has revealed that the sum of 792.1 million naira has been paid into the eradication support account to curb the spread of the pandemic in the country. Mustafa, who is the chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, made the disclosure during the daily briefing by members of the PTF. He said he was pleased to report that the Office of the Accountant General has published details of inflow into the federal government COVID-19 eradication support account. He explained that the disclosure was predicated on the fact that the committee had promised to make all cash donations public and in line with President Muhammadu Buhari's administration on accountability and transparency. The PTF chairman commended individuals and corporate organizations who have been donating funds into the account and as well recognized the efforts of security agencies that have been helping in enforcing the laws. Ebonyi State Governor David Umahi has lifted the ban on religious gatherings across the state with effect from today, May 15. Commissioner for Information and Orientation Uchenna Oji, who disclosed this in a statement issued in Abakaliki, said the development is part of measures to ease COVID-19 lockdown in the state. He added that the decision was made following an appeal from the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, in the state, but announced that all churches are to observe their services only on Sundays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., which he said must be under strict observance of the state laws. He said the Seventh-day Adventists and Muslim faithfuls are to observe their services on Saturdays and Fridays, respectively, and also from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has handed a property forfeited by the former Minister of Petroleum Resources, Diezani Alison Madueke, to the Lagos State Government for use as an isolation center for COVID-19 patients. The 6 flats of 3 bedrooms and a boys' quarter had been forfeited to the federal government following an order of the Federal High Court in Lagos in 2017. Speaking during the anniversary ceremony on the zonal head of the EFCC in Lagos, Mohammed Rabo, said the gesture is part of the agency's support in curbing the spread of the virus. On his part, the state governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu commended the commission for the gesture, saying it is a welcome collaboration between the federal government and the state government. The 3 tiers of government of the federation shared a total sum of 606.196 billion as federal allocation for the month of April 2020. The Federation Accounts Allocation Committee reviewed these at its meeting held through virtual conferencing. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mahmoud Issa Duse, who chaired the meeting, said the amount is inclusive of VAT, exchange gain, solid mineral revenue, excess bank charges, and excess oil revenue. Issa Dutse said the federal government received 169.831 billion. The states received 86.14 billion naira. Local government councils got 66.411 billion naira, while the oil producing states received 32.895 billion naira as derivation from 13% mineral revenue. However, cost of collections and FIRS refund and allocation to Northeast Development Commission and transfer to excess oil revenue was 15.134 billion naira. In a communique issued by the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee at the end of the meeting, indicated that the gross revenue available to the value-added tax from April 2020 was 94.495 billion naira, as against the 120.268 billion naira distributed in the preceding month of March 2020, resulting in a decrease of 25.772 billion naira. The Lagos University Teaching Hospital for the third time has successfully delivered a 30-year-old COVID-19 patient of a baby boy. Chairman, Luth Medical Advisory Committee, Professor Wasiu Adeyemo, who confirmed the development, said the medical team performed a successful cesarean section on the patient. Professor Adeyemo said the mother and baby were doing well, just as he commended the committed frontline staff of the hospital for the achievement. He also appreciated the support of the federal government of Nigeria, Lagos State Government, and Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC), while disclosing that the Lagos State Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, has promised to address the concerns of Dubai returnees who had staged a protest over a Twitter post at the state's isolation center. In the meantime, Rivers State Government has added legal practitioners on court duty among those to be on exceptional duties during lockdown in the state. In a letter signed by the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Zacchaeus Adango, addressed to the State Commissioner for Police, Joseph Mukan, the police is requested to grant free passage to every legal practitioner who provides convincing evidence of identification and engagement in court proceedings. Adango said the request is in line with the provision of 10 of Executive Orders Rivers State 06 2020, which he said exempts courts of law from the lockdown and restriction of human and vehicular movement in Obiakpo and Port Harcourt law centers within their jurisdictions to identify and release deserving inmates where that has not been done already. The CJN recommended the conditional and unconditional release as well as payment of fines of awaiting trial persons depending on the categories they fall within. He also asked the justices to forward the report of their visits to him for compilation and onward transmission to the relevant authorities. A State High Court sitting in Port Harcourt will on the 8th of June 2020 deliver a judgment on the matter filed by one Dele Moses and 9 others against the All Progressives Congress and its national chairman, Adams Oshomole. The plaintiffs want the interpretation of Justice Chiwendu Wogu's judgment and their declaration as authentic party members to conduct primaries. At the resumed hearing before Justice George Omoreji, counsel to both parties presented their arguments on points of law through the originating summons and written addresses. Our correspondent, Uchendu Ojowo, reports that the presiding judge, Justice George Omoreji, after listening to both parties, adjourned till 8th of June 2020 for judgment. Speaking to newsmen outside the courtroom, counsel to APC and its national chairman, Tuduru Ede, said the prayers of the plaintiffs cannot be granted since the said judgment was delivered by a court of coordinate jurisdiction. On his part, Henry Bello, who is counsel representing Dele Moses and the 9 others, said his clients have the right to participate in the congresses of the party. You may recall that Justice Olo of the High Court had declined interpreting the judgment of Chiwendu Wogu in a similar application by one Ibrahim Umar and 22 others, since they are both courts of coordinate jurisdiction. The appeal court sitting in Port Harcourt is to hear a matter on the circumstances surrounding the sales of some properties owned by one Everest AK following a judgment secured by his lawyer, Blessing Bouquet. AK said he approached the appeal court to interpret the judgment of the High Court in Oibo secured against him by his own lawyer, which led to the sales of his properties. AK narrated how to our correspondent how he borrowed money from his lawyer, Blessing BK, who later filed a suit and thereafter secured a judgment against him, allegedly without his knowledge.
This place was handed over to my lawyer, Barrister Blessing. Then I was enter his office to greet him, and I saw crowd of people. I said, "What's up?" He said he was loaning money. I said, "Okay, that's fine." So along the line, after some days, he demands I give him paper. He give me 500,000. He said I should pay 20,000%, each 100,000. Then after said and done, I couldn't meet up. I go and talk to her. Say, "She give me time." Before I know it, after I hear the bell ringing, I was shouting, "Hey, come on, come on, come on! I want to owe you your business." When I got to the lawyer, I saw everybody there, both the register. Now the matter now is in appeal court. Then they never saw people who they hear paper. They never come to me, nothing. They were now threatening them. The registrar himself will come here. There were two registrars. They will come here and start harassing people, say they should quit. They want to destroy the bank and build the house. I tell my tenant, everyone should relax. This matter have gone far to the appeal court. How can a lawyer whom I trust give everything? He collected all the whole money for his own percentage, take a certain percentage. Then reaching 30th of January, he auctioned the place. I was shocked.
Some of the shop owners at the controversial property who spoke to our correspondent said they were not bothered about who wins the matter in court, but pleaded that their rights of time should be given to them to enable them to secure another place to do their businesses. When our correspondent contacted Blessing Akubike on the allegations, she explained what led to the court process, adding that due legal processes were followed before the sales of the property.
The court proceedings are there, the documents are there, everything is there. It's not a hidden fact. He borrowed some money from me. I'm his lawyer and I've been his lawyer for well over 10 years. It's no more than that. I'm managing his properties. I'm into money, soft loans and all that. He came to me to take the money into this agricultural camp. When he came to borrow money from me, a colleague of mine was to collect that money. But because he is my client, I obliged him with that money. I wrote him a letter demanding for my money. He did not. I took him to court. He was served with the court process himself. Personally, he acknowledged the service himself. He kept promising he would give me my money until I went to court and got judgment in court. Even at the point the court came and cordoned his premises, he came and pleaded with me. He came with his sound man. I told him, okay, they'll pay me part of the money to offset the 2.8 million I was owing the man. By February, they did not. And then very much I told the property.
The Rivers State House of Assembly has passed the Rivers State Security Trust Fund Bill into law. The bill was passed after the chairman of the other committee, Christian Ayako, presented the report to the committee. Some lawmakers during debate said the trust fund, which will be funded by government, will also have donations from organizations to support security in Rivers State.
The governor, in giving his answer, will definitely talk about every sphere of life of the states. And this, whatever happens in the trust fund or in the administration of criminal justice or the issues of security, we have always seen that the governors present the public.
Don't need worry. We want to know how the security trust fund will be managed. So they went further to detail it in their report. Ordinarily, they are obligated cutting costs. Then they went further to detail all. So I think it's a good work. Having said so, I want to quickly support leaders last week by way of motion that this bill or the report by the committee will be passed.
Speaker of the House, Ikunyo Wajigbani, in his submission said the governor will always speak on the issue of the state's management of security in his yearly address, which will include the achievements of the Security Trust Fund.
Like recommendation 5, that a new sub clause 3 should be added in the main clause 14 to read thus: the trust funds annual report should form part of the governor's annual speech. That one, for me, that recommendation is not taken because already it is given. The security sector is a huge sector in the annual speech of the governor of any state, because there is no way. The first fundamental duty of government is protection of life and property. And life and property, they are the critical elements that come under the security sector. So it is given.
Our correspondent Victor Izema reports that the House adjourned to June 2 for the next plenary. You're listening to the World News on Today95.1 FM, Voice of the People. After the break, more news, foreign and sports stories. Do stay tuned.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
And we're back.
Thank you for staying tuned to the World News at noon on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. Welcome back now to the rest of the bulletin. This report says members of a suspected cold gang terrorizing the Dubai axis of Port Harcourt City local government area of River State went on rampage in the early hours of yesterday, inflicting injuries on residents and passers-by while destroying properties in the area. Our correspondent gathered that the operation by the cold gang follows the killing of one of their gang member identified as Enrilio by a rival cold group. The chief security officer of the vigilante group in charge of the area, Godstami War, who confirmed the killing to our correspondent, said the suspected cold gang stormed Bishop Okoye Street in Mile 3 and shot dead their target, who was collecting money from market traders. Inwo said that the suspected cultists later carried the remains of the victim to a street within Diop where he was dumped before proceeding with other attacks. Godsami Unwo said he and his men were attacked by the suspected cultists, who were numbering over 200 in presence of security operatives attached to the Mount 3 division without any arrests.
Where we are addressing them, they now informed us and they attacked us. Today, as I'm talking to you, my mouth, they broke my mouth. Some of my men are all injured in presence of the police. The police did not make any arrest, and these boys are notable people. People know. They are there, they attacked the vigilante people. The police, well fully armed, did not even make one arrest.
The spokesperson of Rivers State Police Command, Nnamdi Omoni, Deputy Superintendent of Police, has also confirmed the killing and revealed that there has been reinforcement in the area to calm the situation. Insecurity appears to be on the increase in Dio, with at least 4 people killed within the last 1 month. Contrary to reports, authorities of Degima local government say the council has taken delivery and distributed the welfare packages of the River State government to its people. Chairman of Degima local government area, Tony Philemore, while speaking with newsmen, said the River State package was timely. Philemore said those criticizing the governor's actions do not mean well for the state.
Also got to the desired beneficiaries through the committees, the various committees that were set up across the 17 wards of the local government, which involved the chiefs, the CDC, pastors, and opinion leaders. In fact, it was so clear that it went across party linings. That is to say, all parties were involved, and that, to me, is a wonderful demonstration to show that once elections are over, governor takes over. And the governor has shown that that's not governing.
On the foreign scene, Israel is set to get its first Ethiopian minister following the nomination of a female MP brought in a secret operation in the 1980s. Nina Tamano Chata has been chosen by incoming Deputy Prime Minister Benny Gantz, who is forming a unity government with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The new government is expected to be sworn in on Sunday after a delay over ministerial appointments. Israel's Ethiopian Jewish community often complains of discrimination. Incidents of police using force against Israelis of Ethiopian origin, including fatal shootings, have led to street protests and clashes in recent years. China have called on all United Nations member states to actively fulfill their financial obligations to the United Nations. In a statement, the Chinese stressed that Washington owes the organization more than $2 billion. The statement revealed that as at May 14, the total unpaid assessments under the UN regular budget and peacekeeping budget have amounted to $1.63 billion and $2.14 billion respectively. The Chinese statement said, citing a report from the UN Secretary General's office, and the meeting includes areas that stretch back several years. To end the news, here's a summary of the major stories. Nigeria have recorded 288 new cases of the coronavirus, bringing its total to 5,445 cases with 171 fatalities. The 3 tiers of government of the Federation have shared the total sum of 606.196 billion naira as federal allocation for the month of April 2020. We told you that Rivers State government have added legal practitioners on court duty among those to be on exceptional duties during lockdown. On the foreign scene, Israel is said to get its first Ethiopia-born minister. That was the news. That's edited by Uchendu Ejewo. For comments and inquiries, please call 0815-341-8657 or 0814-434-3502. Send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. Do not forget to take responsibility. Wash your hands frequently with soap on the running water. Avoid touching your face and eye contact surfaces to prevent the spread of coronavirus. I am Kala Dakarubatibo. Good afternoon.
Ikwerambe kao kabo hakuke basaro COVID-19 obunorie kuke badun obunorie ka obuga badun oma ikwonu oma ahwere gbaru oma mechangaricha nijigarichi oma okwaki iji na leoha ogomega nnenu nda no ha rumobazi ogomega rumontakiri no ha nneba no ndabazi ogomega enyi no enyi no gbana horu obunorie ke badun ka goru ncha no mini no okwaka mbombom igwakwele goru haka bekeku hand sanitizer goru pesina kai izizena ha ndeba no jirikeku dasiri ba ikerehu bandondo obuso nwere nye ji na larụ n'okwukọta aka daziri nye kia ikerehu ịdụmasị nye kia ndondo si chọrọ akwa ha keku a tissue paper maọbụ nkitefu ịkwasa nuri ma ịkwasịla lọhume ma sa oturuho se hizilai maọbụ ehire ga ịbịakwu maọbụ akpịrị na ọkpọ ịbịakwu maọbụ onwe iwe na-eshiri ike maọbụ ịkwaga ọkwa mbọmbọm biko oturuho kpọọ ndị covid-19 ọfịs ba no Eliai Rivers State ha eli hụrụ ha achịketa aka ma chịhala ogbunere kebadụ nka ukebara Eliai Nigeria ishika na ọdụ anaka ochino aka ndị
Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Good day, listeners. Hope you're having a good day. I hope this message meets you live and well. Hope you are staying safe and keeping yourself quarantined because of this period. We know a lot of people are quarantined, but it doesn't mean that your finances should be on quarantine because you still need money. You still need to eat. Now, we have someone who is very vast when it comes to the concept of digital assets, making money online, when it comes to securing your future, having, I dare say, generational wealth when it comes to online platforms. And this is definitely something that you want to take advantage of. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure today to introduce the person and personality, the CEO of Skibi Consult, Mrs. Halima Zachary Yakub. You're very welcome, ma.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, ma, for coming in. So, please, can you tell us what is Skibi Consult about?
Skibi Consult is a company registered in Nigeria. And what we do basically is that we deal in blockchain technology and digital assets. And because this is a new technology, it's an evolving technology, it's an emerging technology. Majority of people don't know anything about this technology. That is why we took it upon ourselves as a passion to educate others about this, because it's just evolving. Many have missed many technology in the past when it was evolving. So far we missed those ones. We missed it because we didn't have information. Now, information is not only power again, it's money. So that is why we are now educating people about what it is and what it is not. And how people can position themselves ahead of mainstream adoption that is very, very imminent.
Thank you so much. You mentioned blockchain technology, you mentioned digital assets. What is the difference between these two?
Well, blockchain technology is a completely decentralized, digital, incorruptible ledger.
Wow.
That is used to store record of transactions of digital assets. Okay, so what is digital asset? Digital asset is a completely digital, decentralized asset that is passed from one person to another, person to person, online. So these transactions are done on what platform? The platform is called blockchain technology.
Oh, so blockchain technology is the platform where you create digital assets.
Also transact digital assets. So without blockchain, there will be no digital asset.
Oh.
So the first experiment of blockchain technology is digital asset. So that means digital asset is just one of the use cases of blockchain technology. Just like email is one of the use cases of internet.
Oh, that just clears it up for me. Now I understand. So blockchain technology is like the internet, and email is like blockchain technology. I mean, it's like a digital asset. Exactly. So that means that digital asset is one of the things that you can do with blockchain technology.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much for clarifying that. So why are you in the studio today? What do you want to share with us today?
Like I said, majority of people are in the dark when it comes to this opportunity. And if you look at what is happening in the world today, many people in the last 4, 5, 6 weeks that we have been on the lockdown, they have not made a kobo. their savings is already depleting. And many people don't, we've been doing these seminars times without number in the halls where we teach people about this. Yet many people don't know what this is all about. They don't even go to know about it. And we always tell people that until you learn how to make money while you are sleeping, you will still remain a laborer.
Wow. Because
once you have to trade your time for money, you are a laborer. So you must learn how you can be making money while you are sleeping. Right? So one of that opportunities, we have it in this latest technology called blockchain and digital assets.
Wow.
While majority don't know. So we teach them what it is, what it is not, and how they can position themselves ahead of mainstream adoption, because the mainstream is here. They said the future starts now. Okay.
Especially now that people are not going out.
Many are not making anything now. So how people can make money from their comfort zone, we teach that. How people can step ahead of the global recession, because it's in sight. We teach that. How people can be making a living, or also diversify their income. Using this technology, we teach that.
Wow.
So we are holding an online Zoom webinar. Online Zoom webinar. Everything is now done online. You can see government are holding meetings online. Okay, so it's going to be an online Zoom webinar whereby everybody, including myself, at my comfort zone, we are going to be educating people about this technology, what it is not, and how they should, why they must be concerned.
All right. All right.
Why they must be concerned as an individual, why they must be concerned as a business owner, why they must be concerned as a smart investor. All this we are going to take them through, and we'll break it down for them, as well as how to identify scam in the space. Some people don't want to hear online. They when there is a scam, there's original. People got scam for what reasons? They got scam for just two reasons. One, they don't have education, inadequate or zero education. Number two, greed.
Very true.
Okay, that is why we always teach how to identify scam. So if you get scammed after we have taught you all you need to know, that means you must be greedy.
All right, well put. So please, I would like to know this Zoom webinar. Is it free of charge? What is the cost?
Even when we are doing all seminars, it's always free. Our seminars are always free.
That's true.
So this one, when they say webinar, it simply means a seminar that will be held on the web.
I see.
Okay, that's why they call it webinar. So it is free, but people that will participate in it has to register.
Okay.
Before they can be a part.
Okay, so it's free, but all you have to do is register.
Yes.
Amazing. All right. So I would like to ask, how can these people now join this webinar? I mean, you already said it's Zoom webinar. You said it's free. I'm sure people are wondering now, so how can I enjoy this free webinar?
Okay, the first thing the person has to do is